Hello. Welcome to So We're Watching That, Right? A podcast where two lesbians bully each other for having the same taste in anime. I'm Becky, scientifically certified best girl.
And I'm Val, everyone's favorite harem protagonist.
Anime is dead. Long live anime. Today is the notional start of the summer season, and we're going to be setting our agenda for this first full season of our podcast, as well as looking back over a wild spring season. Then, every week through the season, we'll be using our choices today as a pretext for bullying, flirting, even occasional profound insights. If you like queer bickering, this is the podcast for you. If not, well, listen on and see if you like it anyway. So, most of today's event is like choosing the shows that we're going to cover from the coming season. But before we do that, quick introductory roundup of what we watched last season so you can get a sense of what we're about and what we're like. And what better way to do that than a tier list? Yep. Classic streamer format.
And I've also remembered to share my screen with you so that you can see without having to wait for a stream delay. Because we're both professional streamers.
We have many, many hours of experience and we know exactly what we're doing.
Yep.
The actual advantage of me having this is that my big head isn't over the first three shows that we got to talk about.
Yep, it's all good.
Okay.
Can a boy-girl friendship survive? No, it can't.
It's such a shame that they took the "No, it can't" off the English title.
Yeah, it
really adds something. So this is probably, if you want a sense of what we are like as anime watchers from this season, this is probably the show that is most our jam.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from making me so angry, I literally yelled at the screen a couple of times towards the end. It's really good. And even with the yelling at the screen bit, it's pretty good. There was just one character who really got up my nostrils.
Boys tend to do that.
It wasn't even the boy. Like Makishima was fun to hate. It was the like older girl who shows up to lecture them about how they have to be adults and give up on their dreams.
Yeah, Kariha's awful.
So I can't give this an S. I think it's an A. Does A seem right?
A seems right. This is a really strong adaptation of a light novel, which is, it's a rom-com. It's got a lot of, finicky, like, rom-com bits, but it has a lot of, like, really strong character moments to balance that out. And they do a lot of really good work with the, visual, like, there are a lot of good faces and a lot of good noises.
So funny. Just the animation really is so good. There is a recurring bit of people picking up the blue head girl that you can see in the thumbnail by her head while she flails around infuriated, and it's great. More anime should have angry, small, hyperactive girls getting picked up by their heads.
And we'll just mark D as DNF because...
Yes, there were a couple of things that go there.
So here's one that I watched a few episodes of, and I do intend to watch more, but it was weird how it showed up in the fencing or the HEMA community, because it's just like, oh my god, they made a story where they actually use, martial arts stuff. And from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, your head is a little in the way of the C, so I'm just gonna leave it up here, but I'm gonna put it in C. It's fine. I didn't finish it, but I'm probably...
I promise I wasn't trying to physically lean out of the way with a static avatar.
No, it's fine. It's just like Mario Kart. If you lean, it'll just work. Anyway, from Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman, it's interesting, but it's also one of those the up-and-coming subgenre of person who doesn't realize their worth gets reevaluated for a job and has to cope with the fact that they're good at it. Shut your mouth.
My mouth was closed because I was waiting until you had told me to shut it to open it and gloat.
Anyway,
those of you not familiar with our work will know that Val is this character type is Val.
Yeah. I'm probably going to leave it in C because I do intend to finish it. But it was really funny to watch it like break containment from the anime chat and not even just like the like this is not a big deal anime, but it is really funny for a bunch of HEMA guys to go, yeah, actually this show is not too bad, but like it's a little amped up. It's just like it's an anime. It's a light novel question mark. So it's just gonna be yeah.
So we should say HEMA is historical European martial arts, right?
Yes.
It's very funny that the Japanese show has ended up spilling over to HEMA.
Well,
I don't know what Japanese classical martial artist types make of it, but
yeah, it's also interesting because like those same people are also like weebs enough that they'll talk about like fucking Demon Slayer and how those would adapt. Like if you were going to make a European analog to characters in that, what kind of swords would they use? The Cell Sword Arts is the YouTube channel I'm thinking of, where like they had a whole thing where they were doing a bunch of shorts about this, and then like they were doing other anime stuff. But like it's really funny to watch this breach containment.
Yes.
Speaking of
it's always good when an anime breaches containment.
Yeah, speaking of breaching containment, the beginning after the end is based on a fucking American web novel, which is scary for a few reasons that I'm not going to go into right now. But it
begins
after the end. I haven't finished watching this. I don't know if I'm going to be super excited about it. When I was looking into the source material to find out what the deal was there, I found a post from the author going, I know a lot of people aren't happy about this adaptation. So that's not great. How do you feel about Rock is a Lady's Modesty, dear?
So I have a thing for band anime. I'm a musician. I care a lot about stories about musicians. There are two things that a band anime can do well. One is capture what it's actually like being in a band that's starting out. And the other is like capture the emotional core of why people get into kind of rock music, independent live music, and so on. Rock is a Lady's Modesty is one of the most unrealistic band anime I've ever seen. It has almost nothing in common with shut up about the cute bassist. Actually, the cute one in this show is the keyboardist rather than the bassist. The bassist is like more like hot/cool. I haven't watched Nana and I need to. But you know, they're not mutually exclusive. Rock is a Lady's Modesty, absolute fantasy as far as like what it's like being in a band, but really, really nails the emotional core of it, mainly by having its highly strung tiny girl protagonist yell and swear a lot and come out with really, really good stinging insults all the time. Which I love. I am always happy when, especially like high class or notionally high class girls in anime just really fucking swear. This is because I am British, and one of the funniest like jokes in British culture is, "What if the Queen swore?" And yeah, this is a really good "What if the Queen swore" anime.
Yeah, the funniest joke in my life has been, what if I converted the philosopher to anime rom-coms?
Shut up. Anime rom-coms are a better use of my life. It's also super like gay in the language it uses, in the language the girls all use about each other, which is fun. I'm going to give it an A.
Okay.
The only shows of this genre that I would give an S to are Bocce the Rock and Girls Band Cry, because they have more of the realism.
Mm-hmm.
But
and so much anxiety with both, as far as I can tell. And that's where the realism is stored.
Yeah, so much of the realism element is really just about mental illness.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxing out my level. Season 2. How do we feel about this one? I feel like it's a solid B.
Yeah, like it's very sweet. It's super relaxing to watch. There's never like major dramatic tension. Every problem is solved by adopting another cute girl into the sprawling lesbian found family at the core of the show. it has incredibly good vibes at all times, even when they go to like the spooky haunted tomb in the Ghost Nation that they go to this season. It is maybe weirdly fixated on motherhood as a relationship.
It sure is.
Like our hero has adopted several sisters, 3 daughters, and also a mother, and also someone else, another woman, has also adopted 2 of her daughters. It's good. It's fluffy. There is not a lot of killing of slimes. You'll be glad to hear that all happens before the show started.
I don't know. Like Shawshan and Felfa say, if they're bad slime, they deserve to die. I mean,
they're allowed to say that because they are slimes.
Yeah, so am I. It's fine.
That's true. You are a slime.
The Gorilla Gods go to
Val's
girl.
The slime, I'm the bug.
Yes, that's why we're Slimebug. Welcome to the club.
And we're the Slimebug.
Anyway, the Gorilla Gods go to girl.
This show had no right to be as good as it was, and I can't really put my finger on why.
Yeah, the premise is so goofy. Like, everyone in this world is given a blessing at age 16 that essentially dictates their life, and this innocent girl gets handed the Gorilla God's blessing, which is one of the 2 strongest combat blessings, and she's got to deal with that fact and gets hit with a lot of gorilla facts along the way.
She does get hit with a lot of gorilla facts, which is good. And she also punches a bunch of people through walls, which, again, I'm a fan of girls punching people through walls. But also, at the core of it is, like, a really straightforward teen romance. And I don't mean straightforward in the sense of it being bland. I mean, it's very honest about what it's like, and it doesn't get too caught up in the kind of miscommunication comedy that's common to a lot of teen rom-coms. It's mostly like slapstick comedy.
Yeah. The miscommunication comedy is so like not there that like a kiss happens in episode 6. Like it's and that's really kind of awesome. I think I would probably put it up with Killing Slimes and B. I don't think it's
only
like
a B.
I think it's not like. Yeah,
I guess so. There is a plot running through it which involves like proletarian terrorists, and that whole thing is a bit weird. I think for emotional vibes, an A, but there are enough moments where I'm like, not sure about that, chaps.
Yeah, it's like the emotional resonance that it has while it's doing its best is an A. But the fact that it's like there's a terrorist that's like, hey, isn't it fucked up that we're bound to whatever fate is decided by our random animal gotcha, and no one respects that? And I'm like, no, he's kind of right though, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like, literally, she spends half the show wondering why she got assigned Gorilla God and not someone who actually wants it. I don't know. That's why I'm like, it's not quite an A. If there was less concerning stuff to be talking about, maybe, but like, if it was trying a little less hard, it would probably be an A.
That's quite possibly true, yes.
Speaking of trying less hard, you have issues with your form, but I think it's alright.
I think this is maybe, of the shows we watched together this season, this is maybe the one where we are furthest apart. So this is a like cyberpunk police procedural, and to my mind, it feels like the work of a pretty inexperienced and unpolished writer. There are a lot of things that are mistakes that I recognize. You know, I made these when I was a teenager, and I was kind of just getting started writing stuff. Particularly with the end, like there's an underlying mystery running through the whole season, and the final reveal of that I felt was really disappointing.
Which I fully respect. I think that is a disappointing reveal. I just think like all of the smaller moments that you were complaining about made you feel like you were looking for an excuse to like a more firm core to reach forward to call it an experienced writer, which I think it's they might be inexperienced. The show is still relatively entertaining and not like
When
terrible.
when the writing is playing to the writer's strengths, which is the banter between the two main characters, it's great. Like the kind of buddy cop banter that's in the show is really fun. They have a really like, you know, he is a robot who is very human and emotes a lot, and she is a human who doesn't emote a lot, and he often teases her for being robotic and never in a like never in the obvious way. It's always very subtle, but she always responds accordingly. And it's every time they do a version of that bit, it's great.
Yeah, I think like probably the thing is like I wouldn't say inexperienced writer, probably more raised on light novels than other forms of media and unused to like fleshing out characters via non-banter situations, because I feel like they could improve. Like
Like
they could
the
improve
writing
in the
actually has
next
potential.
arc. Like I feel like it really is just like a yeah, it's I fully understand that like you see that in there, and I'm more willing to give that a pass as a light novel issue than just this particular author.
Fair.
But yeah, I'm fine leaving it in like C.
Okay.
The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows.
I've only seen clips of this, but man, were some of the clips good.
So it's another one of those guy gets reassessed for his power level and turns out he's good at his job shows, but the dub makes some choices.
It sure does.
One of those choices being, of course, the werewolves. One of them motherfuckers sounds like Scooby-Doo. Complete with Ruh-roh and the fucking Scooby-Doo laugh. There's also it's another one of those light novels, so it's got a lot of like really strong banter between characters. I'm probably gonna put it in B, like a low B. I'll probably go back for a season 2 or investigate the light novels.
Yeah. The bits I've seen were an A, but that is mostly just scenes where his like medical practice gets raided by a bunch of werewolves, and one of the werewolves is just like a dog that chews on legs and starts off chewing on the table leg and then is chewing on his leg.
Yeah. And so the other good thing about Brilliant Healer was because he's a healer, he has access to like healing magic, and the undead are weak to healing magic. So he can deal with the undead. And he clears out every wraith except one that are living in his house. And the one wraith he doesn't clear out is Carmilla, the Queen of the Dead. And she just decides to be a nuisance to him because it's funny. And he just keeps doing that. She went with him to a hospital full of other healers just to keep bothering him. It's great. I love problems.
I am Problems.
Yep, I love you. Anyway.
I promise that's not the only time I will make that joke in the run of this
you won't say that. You won't only say that once today, I feel like. Anyway.
Quite possibly.
The Unaware Atelier Meister, more of those more getting reassessed for things. He's a little...
Eval, you sure do watch a lot of anime in that genre. Somebody who denies any association with it.
Shut the fuck up. It is extremely goofy, to a degree that, like, I fell off because I didn't have the energy to keep up with how dumb some of the situations he keeps putting himself into were. So I just like, it's fine. It's one of those. It was also simul dubbed, so it was just like I could watch this in the background, but I have so much other stuff.
Is that the one where like there are like 15 girls who all end up engaged to him, and he's kind of bombing around in the wilderness trying to not attract any attention.
No,
Does that not narrow it down?
That doesn't narrow it down for one, and also what?
Okay.
If you have more details than that, I can probably identify it, and that gives me great shame. But
please ask Val if you are ever having trouble remembering an anime.
Don't.
She'll get it right, and it'll be really funny.
Help. Anyway, Apocalypse Hotel. I think our first
instant S tier.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up, watch this show. It's very hard to imagine.
It's hard to
not liking
explain
this show.
It's hard to explain. Shut up, doll.
So the thing with Apocalypse Hotel, it's an anime original, and boy is it original. I mean, it's full of references to things, and it does every genre at some point or other. It's very, very funny. The animation is gorgeous at all times. And also the story it tells, which it tells very gently, is incredibly kind of poignant and touching. And there is an episode of this show that is almost entirely dialogue-free shots of a single character walking around in a bunch of ruins.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seldom seen 20 minutes of TV that riveting.
Yeah.
It's an incredible show. I think from this season, it's probably the most likely to be remembered and talked about for a long time.
It's also definitely the one that I can recommend, like, regardless of your taste, because, like, you will probably get a sense for whether you're going to like it within a couple episodes. And yeah, hi Macro. And it is just, it's got a lot of stuff going on, so it's probably going to entertain you for at least a couple episodes more intensely than the others.
Like, conceptually, it's not really our thing, genre-wise, but I think we loved every minute of it, even the bits that were way outside our normal, like, genre ranges of interest.
Yeah, even the weakest episode still had Punko's, her husband just shrieking about getting cooked.
I'd forgotten about that. There are Tanuki people, and the Tanuki people are great, but man, do they have some moments.
Yeah, they're most of the static cast, and it's really good. Okay, Shionji Family Children. How do we feel
anime
about
this season
one?
most likely to make Val say help? You were so afraid of this show.
There is so much fucking tension in this fucking mess of a show. And now I have to wait for monthly updates.
I mean, it is another, like, adaptation of a romance comedy manga. It is very funny. You do have to kind of the story is there are these 7 siblings. At the start of the show, they find out that they were all adopted, and actually only 2 of them are biologically related. And all hell breaks loose with 5 girls and 1 of the boys.
Hell breaks loose in slow motion, really.
Hell breaks loose in slow motion, and it produces a lot of tension. The girls are all sweet. They are types, but there's distinctiveness to them. All of them do funny things.
There's a dog. The dog is funny.
There is a dog.
The
dog is real good. I mean, it's a fun show.
Yeah.
It does not resolve anything in season 1.
Unfortunately,
maybe there'll be a season 2 and that'll handle that, but it'll be a long time coming.
Yeah, so basically, the thing that happens at the end of season 1, and I don't feel like bad saying this because it kind of like the show is made to advertise the manga, and the manga is only like a dozen or so chapters past where this first season goes. Basically, it ends in season 1 with 3 of the girls telling each other that they love the main character, and the main character overhearing that and having to deal with that. Um, and then the thing that hasn't come up in the manga yet, I think, the reveal that there's actually another pair of siblings, which is fucked. There's so much tension in this god awful show.
Yes. So is it a B, do you think?
I think probably a B. It would have been higher if it got anywhere. But oh my god.
If you just want to get edged by some of the highest stakes romantic drama that you can possibly see.
And you've got 4
what
hours.
This show is for.
Yeah. Anyway, Catch Me at the Ballpark.
Which is not a high stakes show.
Yeah, I think I would put that in A, honestly.
Yeah, easily. Like it's a slice of life show about people who work at a baseball stadium in Japan. The central character is a beer girl. Like, her job is to walk around the stands selling beer. It's just lovely. Like, it's full of lovely, lovable characters who care a lot about stuff. I think it really nails down the sense of community that forms around sports. You know, it's not. It's a It's an anime about sports, but it is not a sports anime. It's not like following a team that are going to, you know, make it to nationals or whatever. Even though it does kind of do that arc very gently and slowly in the background. It's a good time. It's likable. I like every character. The team has a mascot, and the mascot is great.
Yeah.
At one point, the mascot does like a pro wrestling bit against the against a rival team's mascot. And I want an entire anime about mascot pro wrestling, to be honest. It would be great.
Okay. Machina-san is a love bot.
We have to be careful with this one because for several reasons.
So this reasons.
This is softcore porn, this show. But it is like, so what happened? And Val and I remember this a bit differently, so I tell this story with apologies to Val. What I remember happening is Val told me about this show, and I joked about us watching it, but she had already watched 3 episodes, and she was not willing to rewatch them to catch me up. And as I remember it, she said, "Okay, if you catch up, then maybe we can watch it together." Because you were really shy about the idea of us watching it.
And I don't remember this happening at all. So.
And then I did catch up, and then I sprung the fact that I'd caught up on her in the middle of one of our pilot episode recordings, which, if you join our Discord, there will be a link various places around this video, depending exactly what platform you're watching it on. You can still access those pilot recordings, some of which I think are very funny. And you can hear me get Val with this one, and then her getting me back the next episode, entirely deservedly. But let's talk about the content of the show, which is, I mean, this is a show that's intended to provide an excuse to draw lots of naked tits. There's no two ways about that. Apart from that, though, it is screwball comedy. It's not really pornographic at all.
It flirts with the idea of being pornographic, and then goes, "Yeah, but that's less funny."
Yeah, yeah, and you know, it is a sex comedy about people who don't know what sex is, or don't care. Like there's one character who knows what sex is, who is a Fujoshi, who is constantly being given reasons to threaten the protagonist's prostate.
Yep, that is true.
They go on so much about the prostate in this.
Yep.
And most of the characters don't even know where the prostate is.
Yep.
It's the personification of the hand-holding is too lewd, but it's fine if we see each other naked kind of. Is that a meme?
I think that's a meme, yes.
Like, it's a whole system of weird anime nerd meanings around sex that I somehow completely missed the genesis of. Like, I don't know why hand-holding is lewd got started, but I kind of hate that. But Makina-san does do some very fun things with, like, this character that is created to be a sex robot, and is very enthusiastic about the idea of sex, but has a programming block that doesn't let her learn what sex is. And, like, the protagonist is too, like, obsessed with robots and too eggy trans to have any interest in sex at all.
God, do not diagnose Eito like this. He's fine.
Eito is very, very sweet, but also desperately would benefit from some estrogen. And you can't tell me I'm wrong.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Doll's right. Where do we want to put Makina-san is the question. Where the fuck did this girl go?
F, because that's her cup size.
I'm not making another tier.
No, that's fair. I mean, I think it's a B tier. Like,
you
know, it's fun. It has the advantage of the episodes are only like 12 minutes long, so it never outstays its welcome. I think at 24 minutes per episode, it would get very tedious. In the last 3 episodes, they introduce another girl, and then she just doesn't show up in the climax at all. She just, like, they introduce this character for an episode and a half, and she just disappears.
Yeah, she's too busy reading yaoi, you know.
She's around just long enough to get obsessed with yaoi, and then that's it.
Anyway, please put them on Takamine-san. How do we feel about this one?
So this show, more than any other single show, is the reason that we are doing this podcast.
Yep, it sure is.
Because Valerie read me the description of this show, and I could not believe it. So we had to watch it. And we watched it, and I still don't believe it. Really, I don't believe that this thing exists and that I put it in my face.
I'm going to make a bold claim. I think we should put it in A.
No, I think that's reasonable. I think it's you know, it is a show about a woman bullying a man, and actually, like, you know, the conduct on screen is sexual harassment, and at times it is a bit uncomfortable to watch. But the romantic dynamic is really strong. It's expressed really strongly. Takamine is one of the most. If you want a tsundere show, this is as hardcore and consistent a tsundere show as you're going to get. Like, very few characters are more tsun than Takamine.
And it is probably more hardcore than Makina-san, which is crazy, honestly.
Yes, it's certainly more erotic than Makina-san. And the climactic episode, like every episode, but especially the climactic episodes, is so much.
Yeah.
You know, if you just want to be overwhelmed by a show really committing to the bit, which is, you know, this is one of the things that I love anime for, especially anime comedies, is that they're so extravagant in their emotional expressiveness that it overwhelms my cold, decayed English heart. And there is a state that's a bit like delirium that comes from watching the best of them, and that is absolutely Takamine-san.
Yeah.
It's like I can't drink anymore because of meds, so I just watch anime to produce something of the similar effect.
Yeah, I'm an enabler. That's what we're taking away from this. But like,
Mm-hmm.
this gets an A because not only is this the reason we're doing this fucking podcast, but also because it actually turns out to be like really kind of emotionally valid or like thorough in how fucked up this girl is on her weird time travel power. And also, there's lesbians.
The main character has a childhood best friend who shows up to cause problems in the middle of the show, but it turns out she's a lesbian and happily dating a goth girl.
Who does get along with Takamine when they meet later on, but that's outside the scope of the show.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm the lord of an intergalactic empire.
The evil lord of an
I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire. How do we feel about this one?
I mean, it's goofy screwball comedy. It's isekai.
It's isekai. It's mech. It's screwball. It's he doesn't want a harem. It's everything. It's so
this
dumb.
boy is too in love with his robot maid to actually create a harem when he is given the chance to do so. Like at one point he declares that he wants a harem and then rejects every candidate for joining the harem, of which there are a lot because he's very popular by that point.
It also has a genuinely affecting moment where he like convinces his maid not to leave at the end, which is it's unreal how like earned that felt. Like
we were not sold this show as it is a romance between an aristocrat and his maid, and I think if we had been, it would have felt way less comfortable to watch. But it kind of sure is like a found family story about how this boy really only gets on with the maid who raised him, and everybody else has some sort of weird agenda, many of which are massively favorable to him but make him uncomfortable.
for various
also
reasons.
The ultimate villain is a god of suffering who just completely gets shafted by Liam being too sweet.
Yeah, like the whole isekai thing is kicked off by this god who like really wants to just enjoy misfortune and the feelings caused by it, but Liam keeps being grateful to him instead. It keeps hurting him, and he's just like, "No, stop that! I'm evil. Stop it!" Ah!
Also has an amazing like scene with the god of suffering who where he's in a coffee shop where an absolute coffee shop asshole is delivering in a wrap the worst coffee order ever, and then spills the coffee immediately before drinking any of it.
Yep, and then it cuts to the opening. It's just like, oh, that's how we're starting this episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do we want to put this motherfucker? I think
this one's so hard. I think it's a B, but
like that's the thing. Like this rides the line between B and A for me. Like it could be in there.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I feel like what's really happening is that it is oscillating wildly at all times, all the way from A down to C and back up again.
Yeah.
It's like everything about it is really hard to explain why it's good, but exists in this superposition of being like a bunch of isekai cliches and also really funny and at all the relevant times really hard. We haven't even mentioned the Swordmaster.
We haven't. Oh.
A massive part of the show is that he hires a swordmaster to teach him swordplay, who is a fraud. But somehow Liam learns all the real techniques that the fraudster fakes.
Yep.
It should feel really self-indulgent, and somehow it doesn't.
I'm fine leaving it in B, but it's like a high
think
B.
ends up in B. Yeah.
It's like this is this is what people would parody isekai as. Like, it's so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, Witch Watch. We know where this is going. It's going in deep. We didn't watch
Watched
this.
3 episodes of it and decided it just didn't have the source.
Yeah.
Like, it takes 3 episodes for it to introduce a third character of any substance. And there just wasn't chemistry between the main couple.
Yeah.
She's head over heels for him. He is like, she shows up and she's chaotically magical and causes all sorts of disruption in his life, and he kind of just wants to be left alone, which is relatable. But the friction didn't work for us. So yeah, DNF. Maybe it gets better in later episodes. We didn't get that far.
Yep. Yandere Dark Elves, you chased me all the way from another world. I'm gonna put this in B.
We almost had the same routine with this show as with Makina-san. Because you really didn't want to watch this one with me.
This one does. She really tried to jump that boy so often. Like at least twice an episode. But at this point, the priest has shown up. So, and he has like a holy chastity spell on him. It's a whole thing. I literally explained to Becky earlier, let me find the line. Yandere Dark Elf's demi-human friend and priest friend showed up, and now the priest is an office lady and the demi-human is a streamer. It's dumb, but like, if you look at this, you know what you're getting.
Yeah. Truth in advertising, I suppose.
It's not bad, it's just really dumb. Meanwhile, advertising, Once Upon a Witch's Death.
Speaking of truth in advertising, here's the opposite of that. So Once Upon a Witch's Death is a fun show. But it has a core premise, which is this girl is cursed. She's got 1 year to live. She has to collect tears of joy, like tears of sincere and intense joy from people. And if she gets enough of them, they'll power a breaking of the curse. The show then barely pays any attention to that. And instead just does like a bunch of kind of goofy witch show stuff, much of which is extremely cute. Sophie is gay as hell, which is great. There's some fairly touching like family and found family stuff. It has this weird setting that is the modern day world, but Sophie lives in a village that looks like an anime version of a medieval town. And also all the witches are kind of like classic fantasy designs, which is most of what you see. So it mostly feels like it's a fantasy show. And then every so often they'll be like, no, this is happening in a parallel version of our world. For example, there's a what was the line about America? It's like, America is very rich in spirits or something.
Oh yeah, like very it has great relationships with the spirits or something like that, which is crazy for America.
Yeah.
The thing that really gets me is like right off the bat, they were just like, oh, you need to get 1,000 tears of joy in a year or you're going to die. And the first thing she asks is, why didn't you tell me sooner? Which is so real. Like, I don't... Yeah. That's like 3 a day. What the fuck?
And then we almost, like, over the course of the series, she does collect a bunch of tears. But we almost never see her doing it. Because she's always solving other problems. And also, by the way, the underlying, like, world plot of the thing is the core.
Yeah.
The like 2003 movie where the Earth's core stops spinning.
Yeah.
It's so odd.
Yeah, like the thing was like, I thought the like, oh, you need 1,000 tears in a year or you're gonna die was like fine if they committed to that, But then it just gets dropped so hard, and by the end of the season, she has like 2/3 of a thing full, and it's just like we didn't see any of that. Which is there's an entire episode about how she's not remembering the people she's helped out, and it's just like we're not even being given a chance to remember. They're just glossing over it. It's like these. I feel like you should have. I feel like you should do better.
Yeah, like it would be a very different show if it committed to its pitch. It would be much darker. It would be much more serious. It would be emotionally, I think, very difficult. And I would like to see that show, but also I was seldom unhappy watching the show as it is.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm
Like,
unhappy with it. I've just like I would like to have been told what I was getting into more
yeah,
accurately. Like
yeah,
it's a solid B for me.
yeah. I think that's fair.
Two Perfect Saint.
This is good.
It's a good series. I think the last two episodes kind of botch it though. Like they build up to those last two episodes.
Yes, yeah. Like the thing that really undercuts the last two episodes is that this is mostly a show about the bond between two sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the final two episodes, instead of the sister of the main character being the one to show up to save her and help her fight the demon, she's saved by her boyfriend.
And also the spirit of her ancestor.
Yeah. So the ending, I mean, the ending doesn't deliver on that, but it does deliver on like the total demolishing of the evil prince who has selfishly caused all the misery in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Like the character that you really want to see cast down gets cast down so viciously and so thoroughly, which is great.
How do we feel in B? I feel like if it wasn't for the last two episodes, I would put that in A. But like the dip in the vibe just.
Yeah, like the all through like episodes. It was a 12 episode season, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I think all through episode 10, we were like, cool, they're going to bring the sister back, and she's the only one. And then in episode 11, at the low point of the confrontation with the big evil, the boy shows up instead, and it's like, you're nice, but the funny thing with you is when you do something nice for Philia in ordinary life, and she experiences an emotion for the first time, not when you show up to save her, and do like conventional boring hero stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I think probably a B. I enjoyed a lot of it, and there are a lot of scenes of Philia not bothering to emote at times where we know very clearly what she must be feeling, and her face is very funny.
Yeah,
she has a very good nonplussed face.
Your top two funny bits are things getting labeled and anime girls not reacting when they should. Kowloon is an S, right? We're agreed on that.
Kowloon generic romance is an S. Absolutely. This is such a fascinating, convoluted show. I think I'm going to have to read the manga. It's a it's a sort of cyberpunk thriller. It's not very cyberpunk. People don't have wires in their heads and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's not immediately obvious how cyberpunk it is I will say.
And you know, I have to talk about Satoshi Kon. I have much more loyalty to Satoshi Kon than Val does. To me, this feels, and this is the highest compliment I can pay it, I think. This feels like a Satoshi Kon show, and in particular, Satoshi Kon is dead, rest his soul. This feels like if we lived in a world where Satoshi Kon mysteriously somehow came back from the dead and infiltrated the anime industry again and got to make a show. This feels like exactly the show that reanimated Satoshi Kon would make, because it is kind of about like digitally reconstructing the dead in some ways. But it is like very little we can say about it isn't going to tip the show's hand about some of the twists and convolutions. If you like kind of retro-looking anime, it's got a gorgeous retro aesthetic. If you like mystery thriller, if you like complex romance, it's also very funny when it wants to be. It has a canonically gay intersex character who has a more or less happy ending.
As far as we've seen, I don't know where the manga is at. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go find out manga updates. Let's find out together. Someone will have updated it.
Yeah.
Ends at volume 10, chapter 81, heavily abridged with an original ending.
Okay. That it doesn't surprise me that the ending is original. Given how it ends, which we won't talk about. But yeah, like it's set in a version of the Kowloon Walled City, which could be unpleasant to look at. It was a very dingy space, but actually the background paintings are so good and so attractive as works of painting that at all times it is just a feast for the eyes. It also sounds great. It just top to bottom, it's Kino.
I'm gonna send you the title page from chapter 1 of the original manga. That zoom out from Reiko's apartment.
Holy shit! I have got to read this manga.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's everything we watched from this season. Not counting a few like OVAs and ONAs type stuff that we decided we weren't going to talk about.
Yep. And
now
I posted it in our channel on the Discord if you want to join and look at that. And now we swap over to summer.
So the other thing that is the reason this show started, besides Takamine-san, is that we got into a habit whenever it's the new anime season of sometime when we were on call in the first week of the season, Val would pull up this list for that season and just read me the descriptions of shows. And it's that thing again about getting overwhelmed by the ridiculousness. And I have no idea what's about to happen. Val is going to tell me about these shows. I'm actually going to hide the stream as you're sending it to me, so that I'm not reading ahead.
Okay, do you want me to just stop streaming it to you then?
Yeah, you can. And fire away.
I already have to look up how to pronounce something. Anyway, Utagai wa Milfui, apparently an anime adaptation of the a cappella music project by the same name. You don't have to shine to have youth. First year high school student Uta Komaki loves to sing. Yeah, I don't give a shit. We're probably not gonna watch this. Anyway,
I might watch this because singing, but
yeah,
that's a me show if it's an either of us show.
Yeah, first year high school student Uta Komaki loves to sing, but she's extremely shy, timid, and a bit of a coward. She wants to join the light music club for her high school debut, but she's too intimidated by the dazzling presence of the members to submit her application. In her moment of despair, she receives an invitation to join the a cappella club from the president, Irie Kojo. The
This is a me
acapella,
show.
the acapella club is filled with unique individuals. Some might say they're a bit odd, even if they're not flashy or popular. There's a special kind of youth that connects through their voices, creating something truly unique. That's harmony of I'm not pronouncing that. Anyway.
Anyway, Doll offers in chat Mia Foyer.
Yeah,
I have to admit, I didn't know how to pronounce that either. So.
I never know how to pronounce that, and never will. French who would base their persona off something French. Anyway, for reference on the video / stream, I'm gonna be marking shows that I'm not gonna be watching with the not watching. The stuff that we are going to be watching together probably as the green watching and maybe watching is going to be for me solo. Detectives these days are crazy.
Go on.
Nagamo Keiichiro was a genius high school detective. No case was complex enough for him, but what happens to genius detectives when they get older? Now 35 with bad hips, running a failing detective agency with no cases to solve and struggling to pay the rent, he's at a dead end. In comes a high school girl in his office who says she wants to work with him. With her help, will the out-of-touch, old-fashioned Nagamo get back the fire of his youth?
Okay, so I need to know what type of anime high school girl is the girl.
Let's find out. She looks like some kind of problem.
So we're watching that, right?
Probably, yeah. We'll put that on the docket.
Oh, please tell me she's a Gyaru.
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show. We all need a chance to change our lives. The story follows Miko Kurono, who began her dream career as a live streamer under the name Necronomico after graduating middle school. Amidst spending her days with childhood friend Mayu Mayosaka and rival Kana Kagerazaka, she's introduced to a new VR game project. Upon encountering the game, the girls start pursuing the irreplaceable now. It's original, so I can't even, ask for help.
So this is the Akai Hato story. So we're watching that, right?
Yeah, I guess so. We'll give that a shot.
Try it. It's about streamers. We gotta try it.
Yep. Okay, Clevites. The story centers on the titular Clevites, the Lord of Dark Beasts, who wields both uncanny intellect and destructive power. Frustrated by the 13 heroes tasked to destroy him, he has decided to be rid of humanity once and for all. However, he has been charged with one nuisance. He revived a hero he personally slaved and adopts an orphaned humanoid baby, the last hope to save a dying world. The world stands upon the brink of Armageddon and with the obligation of raising one child holding it all back. Now bound together, what fate awaits this unlikely trio? So...
Yes.
This is the big bad evil demon teaming up with a hero to raise a child. Do we want to watch that?
So,
It doesn't have to be a full commitment, but do we want to give it a shot?
It sounds Iruma adjacent enough that we probably have to give it a shot. I would not be surprised though if it ends up being a you show and not a me show.
That's fine. By the way, we're looking through these in start date order on the website. So if you want to follow along and start your own stuff, this is anychart.net/summer 2025.
Also, we should say last season we were following 12, 13 shows together.
Yep. Which was
kind of overwhelming. We're trying to not do 12 or 13 shows.
Yeah.
We are already on 3 from 4 that we've looked at.
A new anime project for Jigoku Sensei Nube. The story follows Meisuke Nueno, aka Nube, a psychic teacher with a demon hand, as he battles evil spirits and monsters to protect his students in the saga that employs elements of Japanese mythology and folklore to tell a fan-pleasing action story. Known for its occult and horror elements on school ghost stories and urban legends, Nube captivated readers across generations with his heroic efforts to save his students from supernatural threats.
If this was a comedy, If this says it's a comedy, then maybe.
It
But
does say it's action and comedy.
because this only works for me if it is super slapsticky.
I don't know that it's going to be super slapsticky, but we'll give it a shot.
We can look at an episode. We can see what the tone is.
Yeah. He doesn't no kuchibiru wa kanju hai no aji ga shite. Let's see if there's a quicker translation on my anime list. It's not loading. Yeah, let's go. The omnibus manga centers on college student Tsuyoshi who loves drinking strong canned chuhai and his encounters with various married women.
Oh my god! It's a college student MILF show?
Yes.
So we're watching that, right?
Comedy and ecchi. You're the one who keeps throwing this at us.
Because it's so fun to watch this stuff with you.
Reborn is a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon. Season 2. I'm watching that.
Okay, if it's a season 2, you're watching it, and maybe I'll catch it up later.
Dandadan season 2. Well, I'm not watching that, and we haven't watched the first one, so
yeah,
not watching. Kamitsubaki.
We should probably add also that we're probably not going to watch any like longer running shows. Your Demon Slayer.
I mean,
One Piece type stuff.
Yeah, but that's a given. Okay, Kamitsubaki City under construction. 7 years after humanity was devastated by a major disaster, a beacon of science and prosperity rises in Kamitsubaki City. But lurking in its shadows are Tesseractor, monsters born from human darkness. Only the Witchling, 5 girls with voices that wield magic, stand against them. With every note, they fight, not just to protect the peace of the city, but to heal a broken world. Probably not.
That sounds like it could be a me show. I don't think it's an us show.
Yeah.
There were elements there that could be a me show, but also there were things there that was like...
New saga. Right to the point there. After a brutal war, magic swordsman Kyle defeats the Demon King, but is left dying. A crimson crystal sends him 4 years into the past to his once-destroyed hometown, where he finds his lost loved ones alive. Armed with future knowledge, Kyle vows to prevent the coming tragedy and rewrite fate. Note, initially scheduled for July 2023, the anime saw several delays and a complete change in director and studio. So, I don't know if I'm...
Potentially interesting pitch, but not my thing at all.
I'll give it a shot solo, but yeah. Onmyo Kaiten...
It turns out to be really funny. Sorry, you're saying.
Onmyo Kaiten Rebirth Verse. The anime is set in an alternate version of Heian-kyo, the old name of Kyoto and the capital during Japan's Heian era. This alternate version of the city is named Denji Heian-kyo. A delinquent high schooler named Takeru Narihira resides in our world, but after an unfortunate accident is transported to Denji Heian-kyo. Here he immediately meets Tsukimiya, a woman he's seen many times before in his dreams. Hardly a moment passes after that encounter when Takeru and Tsukimiya encounter an Oni monster and lose their lives. Takeru awakens, stunned to find himself again at Denji Heian-kyo. He puts together that he has the power to go back in time. Now he resolves to learn this world's version of mystical Onmyo Jutsu techniques and become an Onmyoshi sorcerer to save Tsukimiya. Nah.
Like, there was way too much like stuff about which version of Tokyo this was in that description.
To be fair, this is original, so it's not like they can expect you to, oh thank god there's a purple girl. Shut up. I know anyway,
in which show?
In Onmyo Kaiten, and it's technically isekai. Ugh. Anyway. Arknights, Rise from Ember, that's for you.
That's for me, yes.
I don't think I need to read that off. Call of the Night Season 2. We haven't watched Season 1. The Water Magician. Ryo is delighted to be reincarnated into the fantastical world of 5, where he thinks he'll live a quiet life learning to use his newfound water magic. Going with the flow here, however, means something very different. Ryo is immediately pitted against the wildlands he winds up in and the slew of deadly monsters that call the remote subcontinent home. You'd think he'd forget about taking it easy when he's stuck fighting for his life, but lucky for Ryo, he's naturally optimistic, clever, and blessed with the hidden eternal youth trait. 20 years pass in the blink of an eye, and each counter along the way pushes him one step closer to the pinnacle of human magic. Little does he realize that's only the opening chapter of his tale. A fateful meeting soon thrusts Ryo into the forefront of history, forever changing the course of his life. Thus begins the adventures of the strongest water magician the world has ever seen, who also likes to do things at his own pace. Too long.
That is such a long summary. And it sounds like less quickly power scaling Noble on the Brink of Ruin.
Yeah. Okay, the next one. Welcome to the Outcast's restaurant. When superstar adventurer Dennis Crazy voice, that's me. Hey, that's me. When superstar adventurer Dennis gets booted from the world's strongest party, he teams up with runaway Atelier to serve up his true passion, delicious cuisine. But this not-so-average eater has not-so-average patrons. Dennis will battle his quirky customers' troubles with a trusty butcher knife and a wok. Visit Adventurer's Restaurant and fill up your heart and stomach. Oh,
this sounds like a you show.
It sure fucking does.
Like, we have tried me on a couple of foodie shows, and I'm too British for food.
We'll break you of that habit eventually, but
my entire online identity is eat, and I love eating, but my taste in food is terrible. So,
like I said, we'll break you of that habit eventually. Okay. 9, Shihaishin no Okan, which is an adaptation of a visual novel that I have 3 of 4 episodes of. 9 is a tale of a town of Shiramitsugawa, host to mysterious artifacts and the superpowers they bestow on their users. A tale of growing trust and budding romance between the protagonist and the heroine, and also a murder mystery where they hunt down the culprit behind a series of supernatural murders. I'm probably not going to watch this because I do have the source material on hand.
I might. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want to watch it and get spoiled on the visual novel when I know the original is probably going to do better. Betrothed to my sister's ex. Marie, the second daughter of a poor baron's household, is treated like a servant by her parents. Even at Marie's birthday party, her beautiful elder sister, beautiful elder sister, Anastasia, is the star. Outside, Marie bumps into Count Kuros Granado, who falls for her at first sight. Yet, due to a misunderstanding, the Count proposes to Anastasia. After a tragic accident, Marie must marry the Count instead.
This is just Maggie Revo meets Two Perfect Saint.
Yeah.
And that should be an advert for the series. I think we might try it, I guess.
We can try it. I'm skipping Card Fight Vanguard.
Yes.
Fermat no Ryori. Kitadagaku is a prodigy in mathematics and a scholarship holder at Wells Private Academy, a renowned institution with a long history in the International Mathematical Olympiad. After a series of unfortunate events, he meets Asakura Kai, a culinary prodigy with his own catering business. What does the future hold for these two geniuses, and how do their paths intertwine with each other's?
Huh. So, a cookery genius and a maths genius.
Yeah, and it's apparently a shonen series. Sure, I think I'll pass.
Yeah, I don't think it's our thing.
I'm also gonna skip Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus because I haven't watched the rest of that fucking series to get to that point.
Is that the same Rascal as Bunny Girl Senpai? Yeah, sure. Like, how do you get from A to B?
Well, he goes to college.
And that it means Santa is somehow relevant?
Well, yeah, there's a miniskirt Santa out of season. That series is a lot of stuff. I mean, listen, It starts out with one of the girls being dressed up like a fucking bunny girl. I don't know what you want out of normalcy in that series.
Fair.
Okay, Secrets of the Silent Witch. Monica Everett, the Silent Witch, is the world's only practitioner of voiceless magic, a veritable heroine who single-handedly fended off the Black Dragon of legend. However, the young prodigy is actually super-duper shy. Yeah, it turns out she only learns voiceless magic to avoid speaking in public. Ignorant of this, the seven sages have placed her on a top-secret mission to guard the second prince. Can Monica keep it together as she contends with both social interaction and the evils targeting the young royal?
God, this one really depends on whether it's a romance or not. Because romances between like shy, semi-verbal girls and like well-meaning boys are in vogue for us at the moment.
I think it will be, and I'm putting it on our list.
Okay.
Okay, Watari's blank is about to collapse. I read some of the manga for this. Naoto Watari lives solely for his little sister, Suzashiro, until his chaotic childhood friend Satsuki storms back into his life. Without uttering a single word, her very presence ignites buried memories and unravels his rigid routine. As tensions rise and secrets surface, Naoto's devotion to Suzashiro clashes with unresolved pain, threatening to collapse his fragile world. It is going to get some noises out of both of us because we're watching this.
See, from the pitch, it sounds like kind of a pretty grim and serious psychodrama. But from the context, it is obviously not going to be that.
It's a drama, it's a romance, it's a comedy, it's a lot.
Good.
Yeah, we'll get to that. How the fuck are you supposed to say that?
Let me. Where are we?
It's fantasy. It's Apocalypse Bringer Miiiiiiight. World conquest starts with the civilization of ruin. Takato Ira succumbed to illness at a young age and ended up reincarnating in a world that resembles the fantasy turn-based strategy game Eternal Nations. Not only did he reincarnate into his favorite game, but as the god who commands the evil civilization Miiiiiiight, with Miiiiiiiit's beautiful hero unit, Sludge Witch Otto, by his side. Not even legendarily difficult race.
I'm sorry. Read that one to me again.
With Miiiiiiiit's beautiful hero unit, Sludge Witch Otto, by his side, not even legendarily difficult race traits will stand in the way of restarting their civilization. Explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. A tactical fantasy world is waiting for heroes like you. Join Eternal Nations today. Are you trying to pitch me on a...
I might need to know about the Sludge Witch. Like, that might be my vibe.
We'll put it on the list. Oh, Jesus.
Oh?
Busamen Gachi Fighter. His looks are negative 255. Touching girls causes him pain, and sexual acts will literally tear him apart. Just what can our ex-salesman Shigeru get in the other world in exchange for such inconveniences? This is the epic tale of one very ugly but ridiculously strong man. Nah.
Yeah, there's some things in there that have potential, but nah.
Cultural exchange with a game center girl.
So we're watching that, right?
I didn't even read the description. Shut up.
I think we have, like, this one I think did come onto our radar, though.
Mm-hmm. Kusakabe Renji, a young man working at a game center, sees an English girl named Lily Baker playing a crane game on Valentine's Day. Seeing her fail repeatedly to win a prize, Renji can't help but take action. The day after Lily finally gets her plushie, Renji receives an unexpected message from her that reads, "Be my Valentine." What started as some misunderstanding leads to cultural exchange. Yeah,
I mean, we are watching this. There's no way we're not watching that. I'd forgotten the thing about her being British. But that really only seals the deal, because you've got, like, How can you resist the number of opportunities this is going to give you to shit on me? Like,
I don't need the
I'm going to
help.
get so bullied because of this show.
I really don't need the assistance, but if you want, yeah. Okay,
Rat.
Gachiakata. A boy lives in a floating town where the poor scrape by and the rich live a sumptuous life, simply casting their garbage off the side into the abyss. When he's falsely accused of murder, though, his wrongful conviction leads to an unimaginable punishment, exile off the edge with the rest of the trash. Down on the surface, the cast-off waste of humanity has bred vicious monsters, and to travel the path to vengeance against those who cast him into hell, a boy will have to become a warrior.
Eh.
Oh, another hotel anime. Hotel
Oh.
Inhumans.
Mm-hmm.
The best hotels must meet certain standards, including the finest cuisine, waste or relax, and entertainment. Of course, they also need the best selection of weapons, reliable ways to falsify one's identity, and ways to dispose of evidence. In this hotel at the border of death stand two concierges, Ikaro Hoshi and Sara Haizaki. What kind of requests will the assassins have for them next?
I do kind of want to try that one.
Yeah. We're not watching Toilet Bound Hanako-kun 2. Dress Up Darling Season 2 we're watching.
Yes. Hell yes. God. The final bit of Dress Up Darling Season 1 is one of my happy places to just go back and think about again.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute. I love them so much.
We're not watching Puniru is a cute slime because we didn't watch Season 2 or Season 1. Ruri rocks. Mineral collecting is like a modern-day treasure hunt. Ruri, a high school girl who loves jewelry and accessories, gets into the world of mineral collecting, venturing into mountains, rivers, and caves. The first volume features numerous minerals, including quartz, garnet, pyrite, gold, sand, and fluorite. Manga is full of fascinating scenes focusing on specialized tools such as a panning dish, hammer, and topographical maps. An authentic scientific adventure based on the author's solid knowledge of mineralogy.
This sounds like maybe a me show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that one Yuri manga about bugs.
Yep. Okay. The fragrant flower blooms with dignity. Chidori High is a boys' school that takes in the dregs of society with the lowest grades. Next door stands Kikyo Girls High, where the wealthy, high-class families send their precious daughters. Chidori's second year, Rintaro, who's a fierce face but a gentle heart, is helping at his family's patisserie when he meets a girl named Kaoruko. The two hit it off right away, but this blissful peace is quickly disturbed when Rintaro discovers that Kaoruko is actually a student at Kikyo. Or she doesn't seem to realize what a huge problem this really is. Will these two be able to forge a path for themselves and sidestep the traps, metaphorical and literal, laid by their classmates? I was reading.
So we're watching that, right?
Yeah, that's the one where that. I posted that one size difference image yesterday.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, he's 7 foot tall and she's 5 foot tall. If that.
Yeah, she's pretty short. Okay, the summer Hikaru died. I've heard a lot of good things, like a lot of praise for this. I think I have not actually parsed the premise. Two best friends living in a rural Japanese village, Yoshiki and Hikaru. Growing up together, they were inseparable until the day Hikaru came back from the mountains and was no longer himself. Something has taken over Hikaru's body, memories, and feelings, and everything they know begins to unravel. It is marked as horror mystery.
Oh, that sounds really tantalizing.
Want to give it a shot?
We'll give it a shot, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's going to be on Netflix. That's a little annoying, but whatever. With you in the rain, on a rainy day, Fuji meets a cute critter posing as a dog and offering an umbrella and a cue card that says, "Please take me home," and she can't resist. With this dog poster's quirky charm and mysterious ways, life together becomes a heartwarming adventure of friendship and shared seasons. That's a tanuki. It's a raccoon dog. It's that manga from Nozaki.
Not if it only has one tanuki.
Well,
wait, is that the explanation for Apocalypse Hotel?
It might be.
That show definitely doesn't have only one Tanuki.
Yeah. Do you want to give this a shot?
I kind of do. It sounds really sweet.
Yeah, and this one is Cute High Earth Defense Club. Another season of that. We're not watching that. City, the animation. That's the Nichijou Kyoani.
Oh, right.
Uh,
I might watch that. You weren't totally interested, right?
Yep. Yeah. Deki no Mogura, the Earthbound Mole. Okay.
As opposed to Flying Mole?
No, as opposed to the Mother 3 Mole. Anyway.
The fuck up. You want to hear our opinions on Earthbound and Mother 3? You can listen to our other podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, I need to read slap that into full screen. Anyway, quote, I won't die because I was banned from the afterlife, unquote. A shady self-proclaimed hermit named Momoyuki Mogura, aka Mogura, is banned from the afterlife due to an incident. Now he collects spirit-possessed will-o-wisps in his lantern, hoping to make a comeback. It seems that those who encounter him begin to see peculiar things. What? What?
We might have to watch that just to find out.
Yeah.
That's wild. What the hell is that about?
Okay, see you tomorrow at the food court. Meet Wada, who gives off an unapproachable vibe, and Yamamoto, who strikes fear into those around her because of her looks. Though the two girls attend separate high schools, they meet up at a shopping center's food court almost every day. Take a little peek at the laid-back afternoons Wada and Yamamoto share as they reflect on the ups and downs of high school life together.
Oh, right, this is the,
Girls at the food court.
Gyaru X delinquent Yuri? Maybe Yuri?
It's the
It'll be Yuri to me.
It's the Gyaru X Ojo. I don't know where you got the delinquent.
Well, I'm watching it.
Yeah, I know. We'll give it a shot. A couple of cuckoos haven't watched season 1, so we're not going to watch season 2. Grand Blue Dreaming, we're not watching that because we haven't watched season 1. There's no freaking way I'll be your lover unless...
So we're watching that, right?
Yeah.
We know we're watching that. That one's been on the list for a while.
Yep. Reneko Amaori is leaving her awkward and lonely junior high school life behind, determined to become a normal girl with normal friends in high school. Glamorous...
Normal girls with normal friends are my favorite.
Yep. They sure are.
I say as a normal friend to many normal girls.
And dating multiple normal girls. Anyway, glamorous, confident Mai Ozuka is Reneko's total opposite. Wealthy, outgoing, and a literal fashion model. Against the odds, the two form an immediate connection. Reneko thinks she may have found the best friend of her dreams until Mai's romantic confession sends her into a tailspin. Reneko wants to prove to Mai that being BFFs is better than being girlfriends, but Mai is dead set on convincing Reneko that they're destined to be lovers. Let the love games begin.
Yes. Yes.
Listen to this gremlin. Anyway.
Yes!
We're not watching.
Sorry, that was way too loud.
Yeah.
I apologize if that went straight down the microphone.
Yeah. We're not watching Osomatsu. We're not watching Shield Hero. Turkey, Time to Strike. You're probably watching this.
That's the bowling one, isn't it?
Yep. Turkey is a bowling term for scoring 3 consecutive strikes. Mai, a second-year student and captain of the Ikokukan High School Bowling Club, is a genius who can't seem to win a match. Whenever she scores a turkey, she mysteriously follows it up with an unyielding split, the Snake Eyes. One day, Rina, the club's only first-year member, confronts her. You're doing it on purpose, aren't you? You're running away from winning, but I want to win. If you have no intention of winning, I'll quit. Have fun.
Yeah, sometimes you just see a vision of your tombstone in the future and it has an anime on it.
Makiine Season 2. Val,
yep.
Rest in peace, Val. Okay.
Sequel to your favorite anime of 2023?
24.
24, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Makiine 1 was great. Absolutely put Makiine 2 in my face.
Yeah. The best part is, I know it's coming, and it's gonna be great!
And you're gonna die!
Yeah! That's the
and I'm
best!
gonna bully the shit out of you.
Oh, you're gonna catch some strays too, it's fine. Anyway,
Of course.
dealing with Mikadano sisters is a breeze. Though ISAU is the son of a renowned and talented actress, he is below average in anything he does. He is entrusted to live under the care of his mother's friend, and later discovers that he will also be rooming with the three sisters from his school who possess both beauty and talent. Though you thought that an understanding would be impossible to reach between an ordinary person and those blessed with talent, the three sisters are surprisingly... ! Exclamation point?
So we're watching that, right?
Yeah. I posted the trailer for this before. It's
Yeah.
yep.
And anything where girls are surprisingly exclamation mark is obviously we're going to watch it.
Yep.
We have to watch any show that is vaguely reminiscent of Val's life.
Shut the fuck up.
Love you.
Love you too. Okay, and then we're not watching Dr. Stone. We're not watching Seventh Prince. New panty and stocking with garter belt. We haven't watched season 1, so we could probably pass on this. But I'm probably also not gonna watch this. I'm not into Trigger.
Yes.
Solo camping for 2. Gen Kinikura.
Hang on a second. That sounds like a contradiction in terms.
Gen Kinikura, 34 years old, a solitary camper who cherishes his alone time in nature. Gen enjoys his usual solo camping trips. However, he unexpectedly encounters Shizuku Kusano, a complete beginner in camping. Reluctantly, Gen ends up camping with Shizuku despite it being the last thing he wanted to do. What will become of Gen's peaceful camping life now that it's turned upside down by this new companion?
That sounds potentially really sweet.
Yeah, I think we can give it a shot.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to watch Togen Anki, but I'll read the premise anyway. Togen Anki, Legend of the Cursed Blood. The bloodlines of Oni and Momotaro have been passed down among certain humans for generations. Long ago, the Oni, aware of their own ferocity, lived in seclusion. However, their peace was shattered by an invasion led by Momotaro. Over thousands of years, these two factions formed the Momotaro Agency and the Oni Agency, respectively, and have been locked in conflict ever since. The protagonist, Shiki Shinose, suddenly learns of his Oni lineage following an unexpected attack by Momotaro. This revelation sets Shiki on a path to discover the destiny that lies within his blood, a meeting with the Oni dwelling within him. A new generation of dark heroics begins here in this tale of demons. Nah.
Yeah. It's not the kind of thing we're particularly interested in generally.
And we haven't watched Sakamoto Days, so we're not going to watch season 2. Kaiju number 8 also. Right, I saw this premise and... Okay.
Is this the one that you saw and then wouldn't tell me anything about the other day?
Yes, Nukitashi, the animation. Sourced from a visual novel, so you know it's horny.
That's not always true.
Give me a sec. The Island of Everlasting Summer, Seiran Island. Junnosuke Tachibana, whose family's home was on this island, returned to it with his sister Asane Tachibana after the death of their parents. However, Seiran Island has become a place of madness due to the implementation of the perverted law, a law designed to combat population decline.
Oh no!
This synopsis.
I'm gonna keep it real with you, deceased former president of Japan, Shinzo Abe.
This law permits and even encourages lewd sex acts everywhere on the island, and refusing to engage in, quote, reproductive activities is punished almost as severely as crime. Junnosuke, a proud virgin and staunch defender of virginity, questions the legitimacy of this law. Determined to protect both his and his beloved sister's purity, he forms the Anti-Copulation Front, NLNS, No Love, No Sex, and sets out to destroy the perverted law once and for all.
It's reverse Shimonette.
It is!
Oh god, so we're watching that, right?
I don't know, are we? Yeah, we're watching that fucking nonsense. Oh, God. Why are we like this? Why am I like this, and why did you follow suit? Ah.
You bring out the best in me.
That's debatable.
Why is anime like this? It's not our fault.
Yeah, it's not our fault per se, but also it kind of is. Let's go karaoke. The president of the chorus club, Satomi Oka, is approached by a yakuza named Kyoji Narita. Kyoji's yakuza group hold a customary karaoke competition, and whoever owns the title of worst singer must get a tattoo. Since he was asked to be Kyoji's singing teacher, Satomi has no choice but to go along with these practice sessions. Brought together by karaoke, where will Satomi and Kyoji end up?
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, probably. You will. It's by Doga Kobo. That's a good sign. Oh, it is like it's a one volume 3-chapter manga.
Huh. And it's a whole series?
No. No.
No, I mean the show is a whole.
The show is 4 or 5 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm. Captivated by you. Hayashi's frank, guileless demeanor quietly draws the attention of classmates and strangers as he counts all the stars in the school, photographs street signs, and dries sweet potatoes on the classroom balcony. In a world shaped by conformity, Hayashi is refreshingly and unapologetically true to himself. Conversely, Nikaido has worked very hard to perfect a gloomy, dour facade that keeps his classmates far, far away. While much of the school regards Nikaido as a bad omen, one student catches a glimpse behind the mask and, undeterred by rumors of bad luck and supernatural powers, begins to pick away Nikaido's carefully crafted persona.
Autism the anime.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm watching it.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all the full-length stuff. We got some TV shorts to look at, but it doesn't look like there's anything interesting.
So how many have we selected?
We're gonna go to this, and we're gonna go hide anime that I'm not watching, and we're gonna go back to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We're gonna need to trim this shit down.
We really are. Oh god. Why is there so much anime?
There's so much anime forever. Well, that's fine.
Busy week coming up.
Well, they are going to be staggered, so we might knock out some of them as we get to the later ones. Also, there's stuff like the college MILF show not having a full. It's only 8 episodes, so
Okay.
Oh, and it's being produced by the people who made Machina and Yandere. Oh.
Ah.
Oh, yep.
Hell yes. We need to keep our eyes on them because they licensed one of the explicit Yuri manga that various Yuri fans I know were interested in.
The one that I read, does it count if you lose your virginity to an android?
Oh right, yes. Oh. Lord Above.
Yep. Amy, god damn it.
What has Amy done?
Oh, posted B is for Jumblies. Fucking Slimebug channel when I posted the tier list.
Fuck.
Anyway, I think we're ready to wrap that section up. If we wanted to talk more about anything else, we could do that now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we despite our best efforts, we spent more time on the tier list than I intended us to. Which is like, that's how this show works, by the way. We spend more time on things than I intend us to, and then I have to edit it all, except this episode, because like recording this live. But I think that gives a sense of what we're about, right? We like rom-coms, we like goofy shit. We're not terribly interested in shonen shows generally. Like, Val will watch a lot of isekai shows that I won't. I'm interested in like music-related shows, and I will watch a mecha show. Val is not interested in mecha.
I have to be baited in with other nonsense.
Yes. So there are some things we don't line up on. This show is mostly about the things we do line up on. Every week we'll also be talking about some older show that we've watched in full, and some, like, we're always watching old stuff as well. Old in the sense of it's from some previous season. Some of them are quite recent. At the moment, we are watching Chika, and we haven't quite finished I'm a Noble on the Brink of Ruin, so I better try learning magic. I might as well try learning magic.
One word off again.
One.
I know.
I feel like if you get 90% of it right with an anime title like that, you should get credit.
Yeah, no, I'm just teasing you because it's always consistently been the one word that you get wrong, which is I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic instead of learning it.
That explains why they had to go so quickly through all the learning magic bits.
Yeah.
That's a show, by the way.
It's your fucking
escalation is incredible.
Episode 11 is somehow the worst, and then they still managed to introduce a new woman in the final episode that we haven't gotten to yet. Oh, it's so
the
good.
escalation is not just about women.
I know, but also women are part of the escalation.
He sure does, like, create a lot of women.
Including
himself. Chika, that, and we just started Kimi ni Todoke, which nuclear weapon aimed directly at my head. That show, I'm so dead. I care them so much. Yeah. We're also watching Karekano and
The World
God Only Knows with my other girlfriend, Tara. I'm also watching Fresh Precure and Pat Labor the TV with Tara. Those will show up at times. Maybe we're done?
I think we're pretty close to done, if not done.
Cool. You can join the Discord and send us questions. We are still getting set up with various bits of like infrastructure. So look out for various links over the coming weeks. This episode will hopefully be up on all our various output platforms tomorrow late, because I have a wildly busy day tomorrow. But if we are wrapping up, so we're watching that, right? It's a project of Slimebug Productions. Intro and outro music is by me. Graphics are by Val. Our avatars are from Pickery by Slimazine. You can find us on Bluesky at slimebug.bsky.social. YouTube at youtube.com/@slimebugproductions. Join our Discord via the link. It'll be in the description for wherever you find this. We will have everything up on Libsyn. We're still setting that up because Libsyn doesn't let you finish setting up until you've got a complete episode. That again will be via link. You'll be able to download everything we do there. Thanks for listening, and until next time, may anime neither betray